I know this is a controversial subject, but I like it. The reason I've always been so loyal to DC when it comes to, the whole Marvel versus DC thing is because DC's characters have come off as more relatable, more human. And that's the reason I've loved the Batman so much, is because his people don't rely on superpowers to overcome everything. They trust their experience, their humanity, their judgment, their instincts, and their weaknesses. And they use their flaws to overcome those weaknesses, accepting that it's human to error. And that's why I've always had a problem with Superman, just in general, because he's so perfect. I mean, he's got weaknesses, magic, kryptonite, but it's not, And that's what I want to talk about today. Dick Grayson has, over time earned a reputation as fan stereotyping as the perfect golden boy, and that he could somehow do no wrong. Even the other children are poked fun at him throughout the comics for being a goody-goody. But, to me, I kind of disagree. I like to smash those stereotypes, and I just like to point out the flaws that make a character human, because it makes me feel better about myself. Now, this all comes to the point that Dick seems to have fallen into most of these situations after being pushed over and over again, or just mostly out of vengeance. But I went ahead with it as its own list because it happens so many times. I mean, there's no way you can have a career of crime fighting this long and just not have a run-in like this. So, shall we begin? Shrike from Nightwing number 56, Stalked, and Robin Year 1 number 3. So moving on without getting too much into the story, Shrike really has it out for Nightwing because of a previous incident involving Dick as Robin in Year 1, who accidentally took down his master's dojo from inside after becoming friends when they were kids. But always the loyal sidekick, Dick led Batman to thwart an assassination attempt that led to the death of Boone's master. So later on, years pass. Boone, who took up his master's place as Shrike, receives an assignment to take out Nightwing for Blockbuster. He's pleased by this, jumping at the chance for his revenge. And after setting up a trap of crime, Nightwing goes for it, obviously aware that it's probably a trap. He goes for it because why not, right? I mean, come on. Though he is surprised at who set it up. So did you know that Shrike is actually a type of bird? It's a predatory one that's known for catching prey by using an arsenal of pointy weapons on hand, such as spikes, thorns, barbed wire. A nice reference when he catches Dick by throwing a barbed net over the hero. Of course, now caught in the situation, Dick's teased and put down a little, but soon enough, of course, he gets free in an awesome display that makes me feel a little bit sorry for his target before going after Shrike himself. Barbara and Dinah have been involved in this situation for a few past issues. Of course, just to be a douche, Shrike changes his target to the Black Canary and tangles a chain around Dinah's neck, taunting Dick with the fact that she'll be dead in a few minutes if he can't free her from that machine. I mean, it would just straight up break her neck. That's pretty dark. Dick's at a disadvantage here from trying to both fight and to free Dinah from the chain, but quite dramatically he does manage to stop the emergency, and with her no longer in immediate danger, he can concentrate on the fight. Now pissed by this cheap trick of using his friends, Dick sees red. I mean, he just full on takes him out, no mercy. But he doesn't stop there. Oh no, Dick actually prepares to break his windpipe, putting him in the same situation that almost killed Dinah. But luckily she snaps him out of it, pleading with him not to do it as he drops Shrike's defeated body and says that that's the second time you always made me into a killer. She has to practically beg Nightwing not to break his neck. Yikes. I'm gonna try this. Judgement on Gotham. Dick is intentionally struck by Azrael's Sword of Sin, and suddenly we are shown his memories of a certain scene from his time as a child in a circus. Dick started having competition. Another kid, known as simply, the Prodigy, started gaining more and more popularity with his performance. Posters were replaced, attention was being stolen. It wasn't even like an on-purpose thing. But when on one night, this Prodigy earned the attention of a local girl, it turned out she already had a boyfriend. In a vengeful spite, this boyfriend attacked the Prodigy with his friends, beating him to near death as a result. This is when Dick does something kind of cringeworthy. He admits to having been there that night, as well as knowing full well beforehand what they were planning to do. And instead of warning the boy, he watched. That's right, Dick just let it happen because he was just so spiteful of this threat taking over in his territory. Jealousy. It's often brought up about Dick needing to be the center of attention. They're always commenting about him being a performer and whatnot. But you have to admit that even for a kid's petty jealousy, this is pretty terrible. The stress of what he calls his darkest secret has kept him up with nightmares of guilt. Even though the Prodigy's life as a circus performer was ruined by Dick's intentional lack of action, technically called criminal negligence, it's later revealed that the boy has forgiven Dick, stating out loud that kids are just kids, or whatever. I mean, still, you know, hey man, you remember that time you almost let me get beat to death? Kids, man. No, it's not really acceptable. Chemo, from The Outsiders 5 of a Kind. During one of Batman's tests for the Outsiders, Captain Boomerang Jr. is sent into space with Nightwing as a partner. But there, when Dick finds Chemo responsible for the odd activity on the spaceship they were sent to investigate, he remembers what happened at Bloodhaven and his anger takes over. Without hesitation, he runs to the controls and declares that he's going to hurl Chemo into the sun. I mean, quite literally. Obviously now, this is morally ambiguous. They think it's okay to excuse this because technically that he's not human. He's a piece of scientific metal that comes back again and again. But the question still arises, if he was simply a human instead of a metal, you think Dick's indiscriminate thirst for vengeance would actually not be the same reaction? I think he would throw whoever it was responsible for that into the sun. Can you blame him for that though? I mean, it just so happens that Captain Boomerang can't let Dick do that. Not because of his need to do the right thing, but because of his ties to the Suicide Squad and Amanda Waller's schemes. Irony. This causes a fight to break out. Boomerang overpowers Dick somehow and takes Chemo back to Earth, throwing a wrench in Dick's vengeance. Afterwards, Batman reveals that the Outsiders is maybe just too dark of a team for Dick to be on. The Joker and the Joker's last laugh. This is probably arguably one of the most famous ones. When one of the Joker's doctors thinks it's a good idea to mess with him by making up a lie that the Joker has cancer, all hell breaks loose. Go figure. They expected him to be in distraught, agonized, even remorseful about his life. But instead the Joker does something else completely, getting encouraged to go out with one last big bang. Because yes, that's what they get for thinking they can predict this dude. After more and more irritating crime sprees, Dick's had enough. But the real breaking point comes when they find Tim's cape, leading everyone to believe that he's been killed. Fueled to just end all of it, Dick storms into the cathedral to confront the Joker while Barbara pleads for Batman to stop him from going through with it. But inside, the Joker is careless because he thinks he's gonna die anyway. He has no restraints. When the others are on the way and mention their worry for Dick, it's Batman that says, "It's not the Joker I'm worried about." Inside, Dick has beaten the Joker down. The Joker mentions Jason. And this sends Nightwing into a new flurry right before Tim enters, letting Dick know that he's alright, that, he can stop. But at that point, it's too late. Tim checks his pulse and realizes that the Joker is dead. We're actually showing him panels of him running into the so-called light. But at the very last minute, Batman shows up and quickly resuscitates to revives the Joker. It's also this, the way Bruce reacts to this that makes me question. Because it's not that he wants the Joker to live because he doesn't want anyone to die. It's because I don't think he wants Dick to get in trouble. That he doesn't want Dick to actually have to feel what happens when he crosses that line. It's a really strange irony. Everyone feels awful and tries weakly to cheer up Nightwing, saying, hey, it's alright, he's alright, he's alive. But it fails and Nightwing sulks off, well aware of what he's done, admitting the Joker's won. It's the ultimate win, something he could never get Batman to do. Murder. There are a couple of other times that should be mentioned. They're not huge scenes, but they're worth noting, I guess. Earth 2, the baseball bat. In an alternate reality, Dick Grayson and Barbara Gordon are married. Together they even have a child. But they're in this dystopia of apocalypse or something. Barbara tries to fight her way up for her family's place, but is shot fatally instead. John Constantine steps in to help, and after trying so hard to get his son to safety, John is touched, and he agrees to take the kid to safety, but in exchange of having to leave Dick behind. After that dies down, Dick and his wife's killer are later going at it, but Dick loses it, beating him with a baseball bat over and over again. You can see the blood and you can just see it. There's not much to say. Prepared to give up now, Dick is ready for that final tidal wave to take him away, before being forcefully saved by Ted Grant. And once again, the most popular alter version of Dick, I guess I should say, is the Italian Dick Grayson, yeah.
This has actually turned out to be one of my favorite ones so far. I mean, it keeps coming up and up in a lot of things, and they act like they really want to do stuff with this, but they don't want to mess up, the bright character of Dick Grayson, so they always use these alternate, but it ends up being way cool enough to keep, and I like it. I guess owls are just cool in general, but the Court of Owls have turned out to be a pretty good villain, and it's, I'm proud that actually Dick is, gets to be involved with someone who's so sufficient. That's not really Batman. Anyway, there's a whole title dedicated to this verse because it's so popular. Even today, Dick's fate as a supposed Talon was explored again a while back with the New 52. Everyone knows about the Night of the Owls, where Dick faces off against his great-grandfather, William Cobb, who reveals that Dick comes from a lineage of Talons raised by Haley's Circus for decades. And this was like the bombshell, because it doesn't even suggest anything. It just straight up says that the circus has been secretly raising acrobats as assassins for the court. Right? Okay. I think this is the first time it's mentioned, and there's a good amount of this being brought up throughout the different adaptations. In one reality, Dick is taken in by Thomas Wayne Jr., who's also known as Owlman, who leads Dick into becoming Talon, who leads Dick into becoming his Talon. And this is the same Owlman who takes the other reality, Dick Grayson, hostage, who's the main one in the New 52. Just follow me, okay? He wants to make the Dick Grayson from this verse his new Talon after his Dick Grayson died. And what's interesting is that Dick, he does agree after a little bit of persuasion. And this is what we know goes down in Forever Evil. At one point, Bruce takes on the Court of Owls again, leading into some kind of boss fight with Thomas Wayne Jr. again, except this one is different than the other one, and he's still a Talon. Okay, I was talking about what I like about DC, but this is what I hate about DC, when they bring all this other dimensional, it's hard. Okay, after Night of the Owls and these alternate realities, it begs the question that if Bruce wasn't the one to take him in, Dick's fate most likely would have been an assassin for the court. This is brought up again in the most recent Rebirth of the Nightwing series, where his circus background and Court of Owls being brought to light as the main adversary in the whole topic. This is where Raptor and Nightwing have the biggest issue with each other, as Raptor says that Raptor is causing trouble for Nightwing now because Bruce is the one who took him away from his fate as a court, and Raptor thinks he should have followed his fate and stayed with his people as he was supposed to. And I mean, it just so happens that to be chance in one universe that Dick has led down Bruce's moral path and not the court's. But he does nail it to Raptor pretty good here in this latest issue when he tells him that it's not about who he was raised by, it's about who you are that actually decides your path, in life. There's one I don't want to linger too long on. It's a good story, but the art makes it so hard to read. And I'm talking about, Grayson Future's End. It takes place, and they're in one of those hard-to-survive zones in the distant future, thus the Future's End. And it's pretty rough out here. Some kind of war between, the Russia and Europe and all this. And Dick's still working with Helena, but she's more of the hard ass, and he's still holding by his principle of no, I don't want to kill because Batman taught me that we don't have to kill. She is trying to prove her point that it's just one of those things that you have to be there. They end up already crossing the line at one point when she has to kill someone at his defense, and then they sort of weep about the fact that now her hands are dirty forever, pretty much, and That's it. That's the whole story. No, but later on, they're working, they're doing their little spy thing, and they find out KGB has become president of the country that's killing all these people, innocents, and with all this political drama behind it, and nobody can do anything about it because that's what people in positions of power do. They do things and they don't get caught. Dick's had enough, so he goes up and he legit kills the KGBist. And that takes care of that problem. Jesus Christ. I mean, that must be his signature move or something. Did you see here to use this next snappy move 3 times in this video? I swear to God, this is his go-to kill move. But since he did, I guess, legit kill someone, it earned a spot of mention in this video.
Yes, that incident. We have to talk about it. You know the one I mean. This scene has caused such a controversy from the 90s that some fans to this day have just simply decided that it doesn't count. In my opinion, I don't really like to just pick and choose what's canon and not canon. Even if I think once everything restarts, I still like to believe that major events have happened. You just can't choose what's canon and what isn't. So of course, with such a long history and people always trying to one-up previous events, lines get blurred. The same way flipping a restart switch on the universes doesn't erase the memory of having those things happened. It's like confession, forgiven but not forgotten. And there's something that's been building up throughout the whole Nightwing run. While infiltrating Bloodhaven as a police officer, Dick Grayson discovers the whole criminal empire, and at its top stands Blockbuster. After getting in his way for the last 100 issues or so, Blockbuster steadily increases the threat, killing everyone he can get his hands on and just causing destruction wherever he reaches. I mean, he hires several of the villains that Nightwing has to get through, including Firefly, who attacks the circus he grew up in, setting that into flames. He taunts Dick repeatedly about how he won't kill and then proceeds to attack innocent people around him just to prove how ineffective that morale is. The cops are practically useless. They're all dirty and corrupt, bought by Blockbuster. Even the mayor is at one point in on it. That's the clever arc of this run, Nightwing's biggest threat in Bloodhaven being the politics and not supervillains. So Dick comes home to his apartment at one point where his landlady and a special needs patient and an old gypsy were among a few of the tenants. After so many blowbacks, the apartment is destroyed with a rigged explosion that was meant for Dick, killing everyone inside. And this is such a crazy slope that kept rising and rising. In a fit of madness, Dick searches tirelessly for Blockbuster, going through villains left and right that previously gave him trouble, looking for those whereabouts. But when he shows himself, they fight again, and Blockbuster just repeats that he won't be taken down since Dick's code doesn't allow it. I mean, he just simply can't go any further than that. He can't beat him, and he can't kill him, so what's he gonna do? And it's at this point that the controversy happens. Tarantula, who's been a reluctant partner of Dick's, steps up with a gun and tells Nightwing that all he has to do is move out of the way. Blockbuster just laughs her off like it's a wild request, because there's no way that Dick will let him be shot point blank, that he'll never stop. He's a hero. Dick realizes he's right. That's like the Joker, he'll never stop terrorizing innocent people. He moves out of the way. Straight up, he just steps to the side and lets Blockbuster be murdered. It's hard to tell what someone would do in a real scenario. Most people think of murder or even play joking, I'm so angry I could just kill her. That's like saying Batman wouldn't kill the Joker, but he wouldn't be sorry if he died, right? Afterwards, it's the shady part of the rape thing that most people don't like that drives fans crazy. But what I love about the intensity of this arc is the after effect. The toll you can see it takes on Dick as he starts secluding himself and going through these phases of shock, knowing he's failed everything Batman has stood for. He struggles with it a while trying to figure out the best way to tell him. I mean, it goes through the arc of the whole gang war arc, and but predictably, Bruce can already tell when something is wrong with Dick. And instead of flipping out like you think he would, or like Dick thought he would, Bruce instead tells Dick to snap out of it, to stop punishing himself for a mistake. In his guilt, Dick took bullets for someone. He even actually took Tarantula in for murder before confessing the murder himself. The police are stunned by this because instead of wanting to punish him, they want to praise him for killing Blockbuster. It's such a crazy event because how would you even come back from that? Even if you're one of the stubborn fans who refuse to believe it wouldn't happen. But what really surprises me most about this is the way Bruce reacts to this. He doesn't punish Dick for this in a way that he would punish Damien for killing somebody or Jason. No, instead he goes to Dick and gives him a look that says, let's just not talk about this. He doesn't want to acknowledge it out loud, but he's not going to tell him that he did a wrong thing. Because, like I said, there's no remorse for Blockbuster being dead. It's the craziest thing how Bruce just is willing to turn a blind eye to it just because it's Dick.